Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for tuning in to Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. The President of the Republic receives the Speaker of the Canadian House of Commons, Greg Fergus, now on a visit to our country. The Army General Saïd Chingrihal, the PNA Chief of Staff, presides the 17th session of the Orientation Council of the War High School. The Mediterranean Film Festival kicks off in Annaba with Italy as a guest of honor in the rich program to the joy of moviegoers. Welcome back. We begin with tonight's main story, where the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Thursday the Speaker of the Canadian House of Commons, Greg Fergus. The audience took place in the presence of the Speaker of the People's National Assembly, Brahim Boughali, and the Secretary General of the Presidency of the Republic, Abdullah Munji. Soon after the audience, Greg Fergus had this to say to our reporter.
En tant que président de la Chambre des communes du Canada, j'ai été accueilli très chaleureusement par le président de l'Algérie.
I had the honour to be received by President Abdelmajid Tebboune as the Speaker of the Canadian House of Commons. It's an honour as well to visit this beautiful country that I discover for the first time. We review several issues of common interest as we are celebrating 6 years of our diplomatic relations, marked by friendship, culture and economic exchanges, likely to consolidate our relations. We have a large Algerian community in Canada, more than 130,000, in addition to thousands of students, a real contribution for our country. During my stay in Algeria, I met several businessmen, professors and representatives of civil society, all working for building Algeria. I was moved when laying a wreath of flowers as the sanctuary of martyrs. On behalf of the Canadian Parliament, I would like to express my thanks for this warm welcome and this beneficial visit. We will do our best to consolidate the relations existing between two major countries.
Nos relations et de créer des relations encore davantage fructueuses et plus rapprochées entre nos deux grands pays.
Similarly, the Speaker of the Canadian House of Commons, Greg Fergus, was received by the Speaker of the Council of the Nation, Saleh Boujil. This meeting was an opportunity to review the reality and prospects of friendship between Algeria and Canada. In a meeting with the media representatives, the Foreign Affairs Minister Ahmed Attaf indicated that the tripartite summit that was held a few days ago in Tunis between President Abdelmajid Tebboune and his Tunisian and Libyan counterparts, respectively, Qais Said and Mohamed Yunus Menfi, was crowned with success and not a mere event coinciding with the current context. Attaf seized the opportunity to stress Algeria's diplomatic efforts relating to a set of issues and files marking the international scene. Still, the activities of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, received the President of the Commission of the Economic Community of West African Countries, ECOWAS, Omar Touray, who is now on an official visit to Algeria. This is in the framework of the tradition of dialogue and consultations between Algeria and ECOWAS on issues of common interest. The meeting was an opportunity to exchange views and analysis on the political and security development in the Sahel-Sahara region and to look for means to promote bilateral coordination in order to tackle the different challenges facing the countries and peoples of the region. In accordance with the provisions of the Presidential Decree of September 26, 2005, creating the War High School, Army General Chief of Staff of the People's National Army Saïd Chingrihal chaired the 17th session of the Orientation Council of the prestigious War School, where he underlined the diplomatic success of Algeria in settling disputes. Ines Kullu.
After the welcoming ceremony, accompanied by the commander of the 1st Military Region and the commander of the War High School, the Army General observed a minute of silence in memory of the late President Ali Kafi, after whom the headquarters of the school is named, before laying a wreath of flowers in front of his commemorative stele and reciting the Fatiha, or the opening chapter of the Holy Quran, in his memory. The Army General then chaired the proceedings of the school's Orientation Council, where he delivered a keynote address.
الواقع الدولي الجديد قد بين لنا بما لا يدع مجالا للشك أن القوة العسكرية
in which he
ستبقى
emphasized that this new international reality has shown us beyond any reasonable doubt that military power will remain the main option for states to defend their land, as well as their right to live in security and their right to sovereignty. It also demonstrated that traditional military operating methods remain a viable option despite the emergence of new forms of warfare, such as hybrid warfare, and the move towards the introduction of other tools that are revolutionizing the military field, such as artificial intelligence. Moreover, the new strategic environment has confirmed the failure of UN and international institutions to achieve world peace and prevent war for a variety of reasons, the most important of which are their duplicity with regard to the issues at stake and the triumph of the logic of force and narrow national interests over the principles of world peace and peaceful coexistence between nations.
منطق القوة والمصالح الوطنية على حساب مبادئ السلم العالمي والتعايش السلمي بين الأمم. وفي هذا الإطار يجب الإشادة بالمساهمة الدبلوماسية الجزائرية بسياساتها الخارجية الحكيمة.
In this context, the Army General put forward the success of Algerian diplomacy, its wise foreign policy, its great experience in the peaceful settlement of conflicts, as well as its constant role in defending the right of colonized people to self-determination, and its fervent call for the establishment of a more human and fair world order in accordance with the relevant international charters.
أكثر عدلا وإنسانية بما يتوافق مع النصوص الدولية ذات الصلة.
Following this, the Army General followed an exhaustive presentation by the commander of the High War School on the objectives achieved since the last session of the Orientation Council and those set for the 2025-2026 academic year. The Army General then listened to the interventions of the Orientation Council members on the items included in the agenda before visiting the infrastructures of the school.
To the housing sector now, in the framework of the complementary program for the province of Khinshla, and in order to meet the rising demand of the different social fragments, the province has benefited from 7,000 new housing units. In the same topic, utmost attention is granted to technical supervision in the construction of these compounds, as we will see in Sidi Abdullah. Here's Minisa Kebash.
This residential complex in Algiers is an example of the state efforts in providing all comfort, means and decent life for citizens through the completion of all the necessary infrastructure.
Here in Algiers province, 407 preparation operations are conducted, distributed through all residential complexes.
Thanks to the human and material resources deployed, including national and international enterprises taking part in the project, the pace of the work is advancing in a remarkable speed while granting importance to the technical supervision.
We are making sure to follow the technical standards for safety reasons and to ensure the quality of the infrastructure.
For its part, the province of Kharshla has benefited from 7,000 housing units, alleviating thereby this crisis of housing for a large segment of citizens in dire need. Other similar projects are also in the offing to uproot for this crisis in the near future, taking into all the other facilities, including schools and health centers, to make life more comfortable for the new residents. As for Tisim province, it is making a giant strides in terms of rural housing via imputing financial packages to citizens without refund as decided by the authorities.
Under the motto of Bahja brings us together, the first edition of Sports Festival kicked off on Thursday in Algiers. The opening ceremony was attended by the Interior Minister, Brahim Barad, and members of the government. This sport event will witness the participation of more than 8,000 athletes with a view to promoting sports practice by different social segments as a token of a new culture meant to offer a better framework for citizens. In the international window of tonight, we have the main event dominating the international arena, namely the genocide committed by the Zionist occupation army. At least 80 Palestinians were murdered during the last 24 hours. At the United Nations, the permanent representative of Algeria to the UN Security Council, Ammar Ben Jama, urged the Council to put pressure on the Zionist colonizer for an immediate ceasefire, according to Ines Killo in this report.
Despite the numerous international calls launched here and there to put an end to the ongoing genocide committed against the Palestinian people, the Zionist war machinery isn't showing any signs of slowing down. Algeria, faithful to its unwavering position, recalled once again to its representative at the United Nations Security Council the need to implement an immediate ceasefire.
UNRWA irreplaceable role. This agency has been and continue to be the backbone of humanitarian delivery in Gaza. It should operate freely, without threat. After Madame Colonna's report, there is no more need to further debate UNRWA's credibility and efficiency. The report stated that UNRWA possesses a more developed approach to neutrality than other similar UN agency or NGOs entities. State again, Israel has yet to provide supporting evidence of its allegation against UNRWA's personnel. As Madame Colonna's report indicated, even those agencies rely on UNRWA that retain its central and irreplaceable role of providing a platform and, in many cases, infrastructure for these specialized activities. UNRWA must be empowered again and allowed to operate across Gaza, including the north, as famine risk looms.
During the last hours, no less than 80 Palestinians fell martyrs following Zionist bombardments, while dozens were wounded, unable to get the help they need from rescue teams, as they are incapable for their part as well to fulfill their tasks and activities. From the numerous inhuman acts committed by the occupier, the mass graves are by far the worst crimes perpetrated against civilians. 400 corpses were found in mass graves within Gaza's hospitals. Only 65 of them were identified. 20 of them might have been buried alive. According to international law, hospitals are meant to be protected from attacks. While not the case in the occupied territories, as health facilities have been targeted for the past 7 months. Regarding humanitarian aid, the coordination chief of humanitarian aid and reconstruction in Gaza indicated that the maritime corridor cannot replace the land route, as it is the fastest and easiest way to deliver aid to the besieged Gaza.
We devote the last part of this bulletin to the 7th art with the return of the Annaba Mediterranean Film Festival. A very joyful atmosphere prevails in the city. It seems that the public has fully embraced this festival. Stars were present on the ground red carpet, photographers, and a very rich program that will ensure the success of this cultural event. Covered by Nabil Kitouni, taken up by Melissa Kabash.
The 4th edition of Annaba's Mediterranean Movie Festival has kicked off, a cultural event that witnessed the presence of numerous Algerian and foreign artists. Those present excitedly welcomed their favorite movie stars in a glamorous atmosphere marked with red carpets, photographers, and fans shouting.
Everybody thinks that these gatherings are just for fun, while in reality this is a professional rendezvous, just like other fairs organized in other sectors. To us, it is very important to reach the international scene, which is the objective of this festival, which bring the international scene to our homeland.
On aspire tous à aller à la scène internationale. Je voulais dire l'intérêt général d'un festival, c'est.
The main objective here is to get to know people, especially that these kind of occasions are where it is very important to exchange ideas with colleagues, directors and people from the field.
Concernant la 4e édition,
regarding this 4th edition, I think that it is a boon for our sector. I also believe that it took another dimension and that this is only the beginning.
c'est vrai que c'est une vitrine pour le cinéma algérien ou le
It might not seem like it, but Algeria is a country quite developed within the cinematic field. We have great actors that need more visibility, which is why I believe this event come in handy.
Algériens ou algériennes, il leur faut vraiment de la place, de la visibilité.
So happy to be here. It's really a pleasure. It's delightful that people they care so much about the cinema. They're so excited and enthusiastic.
I'm very excited. Very amazing. The festival, the people, Annaba, the cities.
This cultural event can only be a boon for the cinematographic sector, hoping for the festival's rich program to meet the attendees' aspirations.
The end. Thank you to our technicians and journalists. And thank you for watching. Take care.